Hi, Lee Community Church. It's Suzaan from the Thompson family. We left you about 2 years ago now. I thought we'd give you a quick update of what's happening since we left you. So when we last left you, Julian's just got baptized, and we were laying our foundations within God, and we got amazing opportunity to move to Loughborough, although it was only for 18 months. And although it was a hard decision to make, we prayed to God and He said it's a stepping stone we needed to make. So we left our house in Gosport. The housing market wasn't great. And we moved. And that's where we kind of left you guys. And then we moved as a family, and it was really hard because we had 2 empty properties and we were trying to pay our rent and everything else. And we just had to pray that God would provide and put it together. And our bank account went as low as £5, but we prayed and God was so good for us. He always provided for us. He filled our house with a wonderful family who ended up not just renting the house, but buying the house off us. The other house got filled as well, and we joined a fantastic church community, and we learned a lot from them. We managed to make some fantastic connections and everything. We've had some tough times over the last 2 years. We couldn't get the kids in the same school, so we had 2 kids in 2 schools 2.5 miles apart. Julian's job came to an end, so we were back to square one. But when his job came to an end, they found some money and they gave him 60% for 3 days a week, and that really helped for a little while. And then came Christmas. His contract completely came to an end, so we had absolutely nothing. We started 2020 with no job, kids in 2 different schools, not sure where we're going next and everything else, but we learned so much over the 2 years and grown so much in our faith and everything. We've seen what God can do and how God can provide. We did a long study on the book of Esther, which has kind of really put me and Julian's mind to ease, in the sense of Esther had to wait a lot, and when God rewarded her, He really did reward her. And we kind of took that from her and said, well, this is our time of waiting. And just before Julian lost his job, I was sitting on a mountain and I said to God, but why is it always hard? Why do you always provide? And then a couple of months later, there's nothing, and we're back to square one, and we have to decide where we're going, what we're going to do. And I looked at the mountain and he said to me, rocks aren't smooth, rocks aren't perfectly square, they all have grooves, and that's the hard times, that's the times when we have to learn lessons. But when you look in between the rocks, you see beauty growing out of it, and the beauty is the reward you get for forming those grooves so that the soil can get stuck and that it can plant its roots into that little bits of soils and into those little bits of grooves. And he's like, your good times will come. So when we started 2020, we were very stressed, but we had the peace within God that this is a time for family and time for waiting, and that God will provide. And Julian, as everybody knows, always wanted to be a lecturer, but he was stuck at research level. And God provided us with not only a senior lectureship and the beginning of a new department, which just looks fantastic, but the house of our dreams, where we just felt happy. We prayed with our church family of walking into a house where we would just be happy, and we had 2 days to find a house, and everyone we looked at, and the day before we came, the house came on the market, and we're like, we'll just add it on to the end before we go home, have a look. And we walked in and we were just happy. There was 5 other people who applied for the house on the same day, and God gave it to us. He put both kids in the same school. He sorted the relocation fees. Julian's job's paid for it, and everything. And we managed to move in here on the 6th of April, just before lockdown. So we've moved 2 weeks. The kids have been in school for 2 weeks. Julian's been at his work for 2 weeks, and we went into lockdown. But we just feel so blessed because not only has God provided exactly what he needs, and yes, we are far from friends and we're far from family and we're far from everything else, but it's not like we can go to see them anywhere at the moment. But he has provided a safe place for us, a place where we're happy. We weren't happy in our old house. There was a lot of problems. But a place where we're happy. School place that we know both kids are in the same school. He's provided a job where Julian can actually continue to work during these hard times, where we can have food on the table. Otherwise, he would have been unemployed. He's provided his dream jobs, a lectureship. I can continue to work on my self-employment. So we just feel totally blessed by God. And I just wanted to say, if you feel down and everything else, remember, if you don't have the hard times, the good times won't be as good as it could be. And I know it's hard and we will all get through it. But like Esther, we just have to wait. And God will turn these bad times into good. And a lot of good are going to come out of it. So we just need to keep pushing in, and God will always provide. And just stay positive. Forget about the news. Stop watching. Just stay positive. Keep pushing into God. Keep worshipping, because he will look after you and he will provide for you. It's great seeing you guys again. Have a good time. Bye.